Hi, everybody. As you come in, please, just like the others, feel free to use the chat. Before we get done, we're so happy that you're here today for webinar 4, but use the chat as you come in to say where you're from, if you want to say how the weather is or what you've been doing. Like, I know a lot of people have been coming off of like fall break, and so whatever you guys want to put, you can in the chat and just get the conversation going. I think that's been one of the best things about our series is just seeing everybody and seeing people come back, and that's been just so exciting. So I'm really happy that you guys are all here today. And I'm really excited because I get to have my dear friend Amanda with me today. So
Mhm. Yay.
I'm so
We have a,
excited.
yes, I mean, look at all these people. This is awesome.
Yeah, we've had great turnout, and so really super fun. And I know that I always like get so excited during my school day, even just to get on here and see everybody. So as everyone comes in, like I said, if you're just coming in, feel free to use the chat to say hi to everyone. We're going to be talking kind of about our goal from last time and what I encouraged you to do. And then today we'll have some more things too. So we're really excited. But we'll be announcing the winner of today's and then the winner of the entire package will be probably announced tomorrow or the next day. And so I'll tell you a little bit more about that too. But as you come in, get comfy and use the chat, and we're going to get started. So for this webinar, we're going to be talking about running a library kids love. And I think that is so appropriate for our last one, just to kind of bring a lot of things together. So our webinar recording and the slides will be sent out within the week along with your certificate of participation. But feel free to ask anything. Our friend from Capstone, Gina, is standing by and she will collect our questions and we'll have time at the end to talk about those. Remember, again, the webinar is being recorded and you'll get the slides. And also join the conversation at Capstone Pub. And so you can continue that too, even after we're done today. Use that and reach out to us, and we'll tell you how to reach us too. But my name is Shannon McClintock Miller. I'm the district teacher librarian at Van Meter Community School. We're going to talk a little bit more about our libraries and schools today. And I also serve as the Future Ready Librarians Leader and Capstone Champion and author. And you can find me on social at Shannon M. Miller. And I also blog at the Library Voice. And like I said, I couldn't be more excited to welcome my dear friend Amanda on my webinar today. So take it away, Amanda.
I'm not nearly as impressive as the amazing Shannon, but my name
Wow.
my name is Amanda Hunt. I am a middle school library media specialist in Texas. And yesterday Shannon had posted like, "Oh, it's fall weather and we're all getting into fall things." No, not in Texas. My friends in the chat, if you know, you know. So we are waiting for fall weather down here, but we're excited to be here today.
I was gonna ask you how the weather was, and so I didn't know if I should. It's still hot, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe in the 80s today. They said upper 70s, but I have my doubts.
Yeah. At least it's not 100, I guess, right?
So true, so true.
Oh, well, we are so excited to have you here today. And as we get ready to talk about more tips, tricks, and treats, I want to encourage everybody to put into the chat what we talked about for last week's challenge. And that was to try one new thing in your collection development work. So feel free to drop it in the chat and get the conversation going there. And we'll also have something at the end that we are going to share too. But there'll be one lucky winner today that we're going to announce at the end of today's webinar. And then the grand prize winner, anyone who attended all 4 of the webinars, will be entered to win a Halloween party pack. I'm so excited for y'all to get that too. So we'll be announcing that this week. But in this session, Building a Library Kids Love, we're going to discuss today just a lot of like practical advice, inspiring ideas, and things around creating book joy and getting our kids involved, passive programming, and so much more. And so, to take a little glance at our agenda, we have a lot of things to go through, but Amanda and I are very, very excited to share. Just to get us also thinking about the communities that Amanda and I, and also you're going to get a chance to share your communities too in a second. I work in a school community that we're still all in this one school together. That is our entire district. And we have about 1,100 kids from preschool to 12th grade, all under one roof. And we have two libraries in our school. So we have one for our secondary and one for our elementary. And I've been the librarian there for the last 18 years, which is crazy and fun. But I have been, when I've been the librarian, I've been moved around a lot in my school. And currently we're in the old music room, but we have made it the heart of our community and our school. But I'm really excited because we have a huge building project right now going on. It's been like about probably 18 months. And we open our new library in the fall of 2026, along with almost 30 classrooms and an auditorium, a STEM and an art room, and I'm even going to have a maker space. So I've never had like a proper library, like a library with a circulation desk and an office and all the things. So I couldn't be more excited to be in this new space, but also I love the space that I'm in, and that's where a lot of the joy that we have at our school comes from too.
Yeah, so mine's a little different. In Texas, where I'm at, I am just at a middle school, so it is grades 6 through 8. We're in a pretty suburban area, fast growing, I will say though. We've opened a lot of schools in the last several years, and my population fluctuates around 1,000 students, but I think we hit 1,000 this year, and it's just going to be going up and up since then. So we have a gap a little bit. We have more highly affluent families and then all the way down to very low socioeconomic populations and not much in between. So it's interesting having that big of a gap in our
Mhm.
in our students. So
That is. Now, as we get started and we think about these things and we talk about some things today, I want you guys to think about one thing that your students already love about your library. And as Amanda and I share things, everybody has something to share. And I want to make this today a time that you have a time to celebrate and share what you're doing too. And so just think about one thing that your students already love about your library just to get us started. And also, again, to celebrate the great things that you're doing too. And so we can't wait to hear your ideas. And I always love reading back through the chats because everybody has so many inspiring things to share. So go ahead and drop one thing in there. But we're going to start by talking about book joy.
yeah, so I obviously like the books are the heart of my library. I love doing makerspace and doing pop-up events, but for me, it's the library joy is first. So we do have a book vending machine. It's was funded by my PTA, and it is I get a lot of like advanced reader copies of titles, or I use Scholastic dollars to kind of keep it full and stocked. And then we also do a book dash choice so kids can put books on hold, or they can fill out a form telling me the kind of books they like, and I will pick some for them, or I will grab the books that they have on hold and we'll deliver them to their classrooms. We also have a little free library inside our school, like right outside the library doors, and then we also have one outside. I also made one for teachers in the staff workroom for our adult little free library. We also have a staff book club that's just for like fun pleasure reading that we meet once a month. And then I do the if you like book recommendations and book picks I got from Shannon, and then some mood reader boards. So you'll see some examples of that, like on the next slide. You'll see like I do book recommendations for different like heritage months. So we just finished Latinx Heritage Month. And so those are all on my social media linked in on my website. And I do the book picks. So every month I like to highlight in my Canvas course like 4 middle grade titles that I read and loved, and 4 young adult titles that I read and love, usually ones that are newer, so that it gets kids circulating and reading other titles. And then again, the if you liked, thanks Melissa the Corey. Definitely one of the my favorite things to do, especially like as new movies come out. So we started the year, The Summer I Turned Pretty, and kids are obsessed with that show, and so they want to read the books and they want to read other books like it. So it's nice to have those displayed around the library so they can kind of flip through them and see. So,
I love it. Now, Amanda, you also have to, before we go on, tell people though about how many books you read. We forgot to
oh
mention that.
goodness, oh
It's kind of a big
goodness.
deal to talk about your little goal
Uh,
every day.
yeah, so 2 years ago, I read 600 books in a year, and I felt like that's probably going to be the height of my life. Last year was 550. This year, it's been kind of rough in the state of Texas, and I haven't had as much reading, but I'm probably going to hit around 500 this year. So I just love to read all different kinds of books and levels for my kids. So.
Yeah, if you don't follow her, just she is just my favorite person to follow because she shares things for us as adults, but also just so many great book recommendations for our kids. And I always love like what you have to write about it. So I appreciate that so much. It's awesome. Such a
Thank
good goal.
you.
Another thing that's really important, I think, is to share the stories of book joy from your library. And the more that I share, within our library, it really does like gain support from our community. And we've done a lot of great things with our parent group. It's been great because our families, even talking about how important it is to have reading and books at home has been just a great way to advocate and also just to share within our school. So, our teachers and our admin and our community, even our public library, that we come together to just really celebrate that book joy within our community. We too have a vending book machine, and this has to be like one of my favorite pictures of all time. It's one of our little 4-year-olds, and we do a little sticker that we put inside of the book, and it's just so fun for our kids to be able to get these. And because we're in an elementary, we decided to have our kids all get one on their birthday, and so that has been a really special thing for our kids. And I also have a lot of places where our kids can fill out like book recommendations or a wish list that they want. I have a few places around our school because I always want them to be able to share this and to celebrate like what they're reading. But also, I put out there a lot, just like Amanda shared the posters that she does. I put a lot out there using like book carts or bookshelves to share books that I like that are in our library, but also to celebrate things that we have online. And so this is a little choice board, and all of those go to our CI books that we have, our Capstone Interactive ebooks. And then I might celebrate them too, like in our library, and pull them from the collection and have them available as well. Another thing that brings us great book joy is having things like special events like authors. And we haven't had very many authors at Van Meter. And I'm really excited because this week we're actually having Charlotte come, and she wrote Hard Hank, which is our Iowa Great Read for Children this year. And she's a local author, and so she's going to come down the road and come to our school. But even though we don't have a lot of in-person events, I think a great way to bring book joy is just by joining different events that publishers have, or Scholastic does Story Voice, the read aloud shows. These are so great because they're all free for all of us, and they have different grade levels from elementary all the way up to high school too. And so look for those special events that are there too. Things that we shared too today might be linked like either in the text or the slides, and you can find a link to this actually in the slides so you can sign up too. The next thing are student-led engagement and ownership. So important.
Yeah, and I think at middle school, it's that sweet spot of them wanting to be independent, but still needing maybe a little bit of guidance along the way. And I have seen just like the most like creative and independent students with the podcast that we started last year. I wrote a grant for podcast equipment, but honestly, you don't even need like a whole studio. It makes them feel important though. And so I did link my presentation on why student voice and choice is so important. But my library aides do have a podcast. It's called Check It Out, and it's about all different kinds of things that they're interested in, right? So they have to research and they have to then, script it out and find someone else to record with and set up a time to use the studio. It takes a lot of ownership and puts it on them. And so it's been really great to see them get into it. And really, I'm like, this is y'all's thing. Y'all are going to do it. And they have. And it's been really great to see. And then I also am a part of the Adobe Student Ambassador Program. So my same library aides, they do different challenges and they collaborate together, and we do it in Adobe Classroom, and it makes them feel, because they're like one of only a couple that are doing this pilot program. And so it definitely makes them feel very special that they've been asked to do that and learn kind of all together. And then I also love doing pop-up makerspace events. So I've done like Taylor Swift bracelet making. Bedazzled book covers was a thing on TikTok last year. So the kids were kind of asking me about that. And then this year I got stuff for like crocheting. So we're going to give that a try. And then on the next slide, I do chess club. It's actually happening right in front of me right now. And I have one of my libraries kind of leading it for me and checking on all the kids. And then my other middle school in our district, we do Battle of the Books. And so we participate in that where we pick books, and it's kind of like a state thing, but we just choose it mainly for middle school interest level and things like that. So that's been really great to see kids get excited about both of those things.
So fun. I love it. One thing that's been really successful at our school is our Girls Who Code Club. And I always love to share this because Girls Who Code is free for everyone. And when you sign up, you even get a scholarship from Girls Who Code for $300. And so, like, we have two of them because we have an elementary and a middle school. And so then that money can go to either support like supplies that you need for your club. You can get like coding equipment that you might need, but our girls love it and they're so empowered. And our group has grown to probably at least 50 girls. I bet we even have more this year. And it's just amazing to see how much fun they have. But again, free for third through 12th grade. And it is so great. And they just include more and more things all the time. And so I would highly recommend like checking out Girls Who Code. And then just, we do a lot. If somebody's coming, like an author, if we're going to have a special event or a guest speaker, like have the kids do it. Somebody made this flyer for me. I have them make posters, but have kids get involved because it really is their library and they love to have ownership of the things that you're doing, and it just gets them coming back for even more. The next thing is passive programming that kids can't resist.
Yeah, so I love passive programming, like so many great ideas that you can do. You can do giant word searches, you can have games, puzzles, all kinds of stations like that. In my library, we have Stick Together, which I think Shannon is going to talk a little bit more about in just a second. And that is so much fun because the kids are always trying to guess like what the image is going to be. And then I also this year bought chalk paper and dry erase paper to put on the front of my circulation desk because I felt like that would be just kind of something fun. I'm real sick of seeing 6, 7 on there, but they love it and they're doing all the drawing and all the things. So that's fun. And then we do coloring sheets. So in like Adobe Express, the kids can generate their own designs. So they can use AI to create like their mascot. And we have different coloring sheets. And then I print them out in the library and kids can color. So I love a good Zen moment on there. So
Absolutely. Love the dry erase paper and the chalk paper. That's a really great idea. I'm gonna definitely look for that. Did you just get it on Amazon?
yes.
Very cool. I love that. One thing that I added this year, I have been wanting to do this forever. And so I just sat down this summer and made these little do you likes. They have been a huge hit. I love it too because today I heard one of our first grade teachers, she was in there with the kids checking books out. And instead of having all the kids do it, because she was talking to the kids about, it was actually a holiday one today. And they even voted as a class. And so I thought, well, that is so cool because it really sparked kind of that conversation with the teacher and her kids too. I put a link in here. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And I just made these in Canva. and then you can just make a copy and use them too. So really easy. And I wanted to share too these little mini designs, and Amanda shared like the stick together. But this year, something new are the mini designs from Stick Together. And if you don't have a lot of space in your library, these are perfect because they fit, like this is just a little dry erase board and they fit perfectly on there. So you can check those out too. We also do a lot of coloring, and I love these little coloring bookmarks. You can grab the link here and print them also. Kids love those. And then one thing I always like to think about is just getting like kind of that a place for independent exploration throughout our library. And if it's getting the kids maybe to scan something and go to PebbleGo or to our ebooks, they love stations where they can actually interact with things that are on the shelf. And then we even put little QR codes like on the books that have ebooks or that go to certain things. Maybe it's like the PebbleGo animals. We now have PebbleGo Next animals, and then giving them a bookmark or something they can pick up and then extend, that learning and what we have too. It's a great way to get them to use those online databases that we want them to have as well. Now we're going to talk about high interest programming that kids love too.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things to do when I have classes come into the library for my lessons. We are a one-to-one iPad district, so I really like to bring in those future-ready framework skills in regards to using our iPads and using it very, pretty frequently every time they come. So Adobe Express is what I use for a lot of my lessons. I even have the classes rostered so that I can be a co-teacher with my reading teachers and we can assign stuff and work on it together. I also love using Breakout EDU. I have the digital subscription, which is like $99 a year. So it was one of those things I used my budget to pay for because I feel like it pays for itself. Kids love those breakout rooms. And then Beanstack is something we are now starting in our district, and I'm so excited to have kids be like looking at reading and like having those goals and those challenges and just kind of getting rewarded for falling in love with reading. And in middle school it's rough. My sixth graders love to read, but after that they get involved in all the things and reading takes a back seat, so we're hoping that kind of brings that love back. Teach Graphics Week is actually like last week. So there's all kinds of resources on the Scholastic site that you can bring into your library. And I know that Shannon talked about Girls Who Code, but Hour of Code happens in December. Definitely sign up for that. They'll send you all kinds of resources and things you can use. And then Shannon's going to get into a little bit more about the Achievery, but I loved using it for Digital Citizenship Month this month. So many great lessons that are in there that's free that you guys can use on level with your kids right then and there.
Yeah, I love that. I know one thing that I have been doing too with Breakout EDU is making like a class, and then you can like, like share like 6 games or whatever at a time. One of my favorite
Yeah,
things. I absolutely
me
love
too.
that. It's so good. And I wanted to share, Amanda and I are huge fans of the Achievery from AT&T. And so I wanted to share because this is free for everyone. And it's great because you can use it for, of course, like things that we have around media literacy, digital literacy, but also all kinds of subjects and topics. And so I do a lot in our classrooms and with our teachers. But on here, you'll be able to find anything from kindergarten to 12th grade around any topic. They have so many great partners too that they have partnered with, and like Girls Who Code, Common Sense Media, Scratch, places that we already know, but also a lot of things that are new to us too. And that's what my teachers really appreciate because they have found so many amazing lessons. And what makes it really special, I think, is that they always have a little video that goes with a great lesson. And the lessons are just long enough for us as like librarians if we have a fixed time or we're going into a classroom to teach something, and everything is there for you. Last week for Digital Citizenship Week, I also put together these little videos and lessons, but you can use these anytime. And this is the link that you can sign up for free. And this is a great thing to share with your teachers. A lot of times, when we're looking for something, we go to a webinar or a conference and we want to bring something back to our teachers. This is definitely one of my teacher's favorite things that I've shared in the last few years. And like I said, it's free for everyone. So that is really nice. Another thing that I love to do is use a lot of these tools that Amanda uses, but again, giving the kids choice. And so this is just a choice board that I made in Book Creator, and I made it into a poster then. And so it's in every classroom, it's in our library, and then I put together a bookmark where the kids can get to that too, wherever they're at. But really easy to put in your own things. You can just copy this template in Book Creator and it's easy to use. And then we also use Symbaloo. And Symbaloo I love because my kids can look at one screen and they can find everything. We have used this for, I don't know, probably 14 years, I bet, 13, 14 years. And I think it's great because our kids, most of our kids are on either a Chromebook or a Mac, but our little ones use an iPad. And so they too can get to it and they can see everything in one spot that they can click on and get to. And then I just have to mention choice boards, another great way to share and give kids choice. If it is Genius Hour, if it is picking a topic maybe they want to learn more about, but we do a lot of things in really thinking about like giving kids choice. And then had to give a shout out to my new favorite tool, Chomp Saw, and also just talking about like not only bringing in things that maybe are technology, but like we have 3D printers and we have robotics, we have drones that the kids can use. But this little Chomp Saw is something that I ordered from Stimfinity this year, and our kids are loving it. And so, really opening up that chance to be creative and giving them kind of the choice on how they want to use it. And I'm excited because we added those to our library this year, and even our high school kids are using them. So that has been really fun too. Just to wrap up, too, we wanted to share a few time saving tools and hacks.
Yeah, so I have, like, I think some of you put in the chat that you also have library aides or maybe student helpers. I created a point system for rewards and also to have them work for some things because I treat mine like a job. I also have newsletter templates in there. We do potty PD. My friend Deb Zeman came up with the toner talks, and so that's something you can do while kids are making, or while adults are making copies, they can be learning. If you've never done a library stats for like every month or year, that's important information to share with stakeholders. I've also done infographics for a day in the life of a school librarian if you need to advocate for the position that we have, all the things that we do in one day. And then I also created a district-wide Comic-Con event just to celebrate literacy, and it's really fun.
I love that. I love the toner talk too. Potty PD and toner talk, so cute. I love that. Well, I just wanted to mention also the 3 webinars that we had before this one, and we have shared so many just amazing things that I have taken back to my library. And so between Heather and Tim and Ginny and Jamie and now Amanda and myself, I think that you can find so many great little tips and tricks in here that will be helpful to you throughout the year. So as teacher librarians, we definitely have the opportunity every day to create a library that our students love through book joy and student voice and all the opportunities and programming that we can give our kids. And so we have loved sharing with you, and we would love to answer any questions that you might have now too. So we'll have Gina come on and ask any of those that we might get to answer today.
Yeah, so we had quite a few questions. I'm trying to group a few of them together. One that came up a couple times is around budgeting. So someone asked, what size budgets do both of you have? And also someone mentioned that they have been wanting to do the Bedazzled book cover night, but do students bring their own supplies? So um, the budget question comes up.
It
I-
does. I it is definitely something that comes up frequently. The bedazzled stuff, I bought like a kit on Amazon. It was, I think, $10, and it lasted us for the event. I limit how many can sign up, so it's like the first 20 that sign up on the Google form that I put out, those will be the ones that get to go to this pop-up one. And if it's super super popular, then I'll host more. But yeah, I have like a regular or book budget for it's like $15 per student. And then separately, I use the money that we fundraise from book fairs to kind of supplement things like the pop-up event, or I'll write grants. Our district education foundation has grants. I'll also write grants or with First Book. There's lots of ones out there if you're looking for different things like that.
Well, and also like Follett has a great place to go if you're looking for grants, and you can even like look at what is available in your state. And so that is really helpful. But like Amanda said, I definitely do not have that kind of budget. And so we do a lot of book fairs, and we also have a great parent committee. And just like anything that we can do when it is there's funds available through a lot of grants, and also using your publishers to talk to them and see what kind of deals, or like they always have, like Capstone has, where you buy so many books and you get so many free, and different publishers. I just had our rep come from Iowa, and we talked about all kinds of books, and it was great because there's lots of opportunities there when you work with publishers too. And so it's definitely something to think about, though. And
For sure.
another thing is, one great thing about having like a Facebook group for your library and a newsletter is getting the word out to your families. And when we have added things like Legos or other materials that I know, like as a mom, I know I have them around my house. And so I put out an ask for them, or if we have something special, like we're having this author event and I have parents bringing like little snacks and, some drinks and lunch and stuff for our special author visit. And people love to help out in that way. So getting the word out and asking that way too is great.
Great. Another question, and this kind of might go hand in hand with another question that was asked. Someone asked, how do you handle time management in general? And then someone asked, tell us more about how students are selected to serve as library aides. So I'm assuming those kind of can both,
Yeah.
be used. Yeah.
Yeah, I have written like a whole like blog series on how I run my like student ambassador program. It should be linked like on my website, thenextgenlibrarian.com. But feel free to reach out to me on social media or email. I'm happy to talk about that. It's a very intensive process that I've put together over the last 10 years, and I love to just hand it all over to other people so that y'all can do it too.
Yeah, and talking about time management, like that is a real thing, and that's really hard. But I think like picking a few things, like don't feel like you have to do everything at one time. If you're going to start something like a student ambassador program like that, that's a huge undertaking. And so give yourself like a little break when it comes to also, starting things slowly or starting something new, and then the next year you can start something, new again and add on to that. But it's definitely hard as a librarian, I think, to wear all the different hats that we wear, but also giving yourself some grace too, and know that you're doing a great job already.
100%. We do what we got to do. The pop-up events are the biggest, are like a low lift, right? Like that, I literally just make the Google form. I tell kids bring their own book for the bedazzled thing, or I'll have extras from like my vending machine restock stuff, and they just do it. Like that's the thing with this stuff is the kids want to learn, they want to teach themselves most of the time, or they already know it and I don't, and so they're teaching me. But yeah, definitely a very easy thing to do.
Great. I have another question that asks, what is the best way to find local authors?
Gosh, I like look online and I follow a lot of people on their blogs and things like that. But I had the best conversation with a couple of our bookstores this summer, and people that I did not even know were local authors, people that I know are writing books. And so I went to a few bookstores and I just happened to have conversations because I saw book displays with like local authors. And I was able to really connect with a lot more that way this year. So that's been really great. And I would highly recommend reaching out to them too.
If you have a state organization, so like in Texas, we have TLA. A
Mm,
lot of times they'll post when different authors are going to be in different areas or how you can get them to come, like that maybe a bookstore paid for them to come, and then, hey, we can go to a school or two in this area. So,
very true. Yeah, it's a good point.
We have a few more. One person asked, is there a favorite vendor for the book machine trend? They would love to suggest
Yeah,
it to the kids'
we
PTA.
we used Inchworm. I think that's the most
yeah,
common.
us
That's
too.
the one that was at AASL too. So Inchworm, yeah.
Great. Let's see. What type of schedule does Amanda use to see classes at the middle school level? Part of the enrichment team, flex schedule, etc.
Yeah, so my RLE team is on a 3 week rotation. So I'll see sixth grade one week, the next week seventh, and then the third week eighth, and then it starts over. I try to build in at least one day a week that I can catch up on things and do all like the administrative tasks that I need to do. But sometimes if we have a day off or, we have a book fair, like there's sometimes I have to just kind of go straight and get it done during my conference time, which is the reading teachers conference time. So we do what we got to do. But yeah, that's how I work it is I'll see one class all day long, and teach during that time.
Awesome. So we have maybe just one more that wasn't really talked about. And could be a self-publication time because they said, I wonder how I can get a list of all these great ideas that everyone is sharing. I want to be able to access this, after the webinar. Thoughts? Do you guys have blogs on your websites or things that they can go to now?
Yeah, and I'll share in a minute how you can get to my blog and newsletter. And so it's just thelibraryvoice.com. And I'm on
Ne-
social.
Yes, and I think they put it in the chat for my website,
Okay.
nextgenlibrarian.com.
Yay.
Yay!
Any other questions, Gina?
Um, Well, I'm like kind of answered this. Someone asked how many classes you guys teach in a day. They teach 8, and they're wondering how you do it all.
I
Well,
teach
I'm
six.
yeah, and I'm on a completely flexible schedule now. And so it's a little different, but I also work with kids from preschool to 12th grade. And so, all day long it's really busy, but yeah, librarians are busy.
Yes, we are.
No. Well, as we kind of wrap up, I want to challenge you to find new ways every day to create a library that your kids love. And I think that it's just really fun. Like, continue this conversation. If you need to reach out to us, please reach out. Use the Capstone Pub hashtag and also just their account because you can tag them. And I think just keeping this conversation going because we all have something to celebrate and something to do. I wanted to also put up the slides so you can get to all the resources that we shared. And so you can either go to this bit.ly or you can scan the QR code. I'll leave that up for a second so you guys can get to that. And as I said, everything is linked in the slides, so you'll be able to just click on the images and get to those resources as well. I have to give a shout out to Pebbletown. This is so fun. You can go to the link to join, and it actually starts this week. I just downloaded all of the stuff today, and you guys, it's so cute. We're going to be doing it at Van Meter, and it's just really fun. So if you have Pebble Go, if you have some of the ebooks, like you can find out after you sign up. And there's going to be really cool prizes and just so much fun for our kids. So I'm excited about that. And I wanted to share this little giveaway. This is something that Capstone and Follett are doing together. This is open until November 14th and just lots of great seasonal books that you can win. So the giveaway is at the bottom. And then again, just to go to this page, you'll be able to find all the webinars in one spot. And as soon as Amanda and I's is ready, it will be there too. And so you can find all the information there. But please feel free to reach out to me anytime. My email's here, my blog, on my social, and then you can get to my newsletter from here. And I have to tell you guys who the winner is today. The winner of the books today is Julie Bauer. So congrats, Julie. And just know that in a few days, maybe even tomorrow, the winner will be announced that wins the Halloween party pack. And so we'll be getting that ready to announce too. But thank you everybody for joining us. This has been an amazing series. And the perfect way to wrap it up is with you, Amanda. So thank you so much for joining us today too.
Oh, thank you for asking. I always love presenting with Shannon. She's the best.
You're the best. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.